Alright, welcome back to R-TAC and Darters. And we're going to talk about first time gun owner. So if you're a first time gun owner, this video is for you. If you are not a first time gun owner, then this video is not for you. So, with that being said, first we're going to talk about revolvers. And right here we have a Model 65 Taurus 357 Magnum. It is empty and it is 6-round cylinder. You can find revolvers with 5-shot cylinders, 6, 7, and even 8. And if it's a smaller caliber like 22, they'll hold quite a bit more. So this model here is the base 65. It is what we call single and double action. So now first thing we want to do is gun safety, is make sure the gun is always unloaded, and this gun is unloaded. You also don't want to have ammo around. That's an empty box, but we're doing some demonstration purposes. So anyway, one thing I'm going to say, if you're going to keep a revolver or any handgun around for self-protection and self-defense, then I suggest that you keep it loaded, because if it's not loaded, then it's not going to do you any good when you need it in a critical incident. So we're going to talk about this one. This one right here has a key safety on it. You can see right here, it takes a little key and you can lock the hammer down. Do not do that. That's I'm not a lawyer, but I don't do that because it'll take too long to unlock it, so you can use it. It's manual safety basically for a revolver. This revolver, once it's loaded, you can drop it, you can kick it, it's not going to fire unless the hammer right here comes back and falls down. Now we'll see here, it doesn't have a firing pin like some of the older revolvers have. And it also has a transfer bar right there. You can see that's a safety mechanism. As you release the trigger, you can see it go down, and then it hits the firing pin. So anyway, to do that, you can see it like this. Push the safety back, pull it down, and you see the firing pin right there protrude through. That's what hits the primer on the back. So when you release the trigger, you can see it goes away. So anyway, let's get back to that. So now you know what that is. This is the cylinder release. Some of them you push forward, and then you got to push on the cylinder on the opposite side for it to pop out. Also, some of them you got to pull forward. It depends on the model of your gun. Whatever weapon that you buy, handgun or rifle even though we're talking about handguns, read the safety manual that comes with it. It'll give you all the answers you need. Then you can go on and go online and look up that revolver, and then you can see somebody demonstrating it for you. Or if you still have any questions, just go ahead and shoot me an email, and then I'll try to help you through your questions on this. So this is a 357 Magnum. Usually somewhere on the gun it's printed. On this one right here, it is right there by my thumb, and it says, if it's a 357 Magnum. Now, this gun will also fire 38 Special. What is 38 Special? This right here is a box of 38 Special. This is civil defense. This is some boutique ammo. It's like a 50 grain bullet that goes 1,500 feet per second. Anyway, what does that look like? Exactly, this is what that looks like. It's got a little 50 grain hollow point bullet. And it's smoking, and it's this 38 Special on the bottom of the case here. See it? Now they also make a 357 Magnum round, which this gun is chambered for 357 Magnum, and we get it right there. It'll say 357 Mag. So since I got both these out here, if you own a gun, a revolver, that is chambered in 357 Magnum, you can shoot the 38 Special out of there. If you look at it, the 38 Special is just a little bit shorter than the 357 Magnum. So, the 357 Magnum case is longer, and the bullet's the same diameter. It's even the same bullet for 9mm. But you can shoot 38 specials out of a 357 Magnum. You cannot shoot 357 Magnums out of a 38 special only gun. The case is too long and it won't work. So with that being said, then there's options for these guns on how to load. This is right here is a speed loader. This is who is the maker of this? S&K. HKS is the likes to make speed loaders. They'll make them for specific models. So if you got a 6-shot like this right here, they'll make it for a 6. This is a different 38 special round here, and it's for 5. It's a 5-round mag. It's for a smaller cylinder gun. So yeah, this won't work on that. The rounds will, but the speed loader won't. This right here does. These speed loaders here, you twist them, you hold this side here and you twist them and they lock in, and you untwist them and then they fall in. And we'll go about that differently here in a minute. So let's get back to double single action revolvers. Okay, single action revolvers would be like your John Wayne cowboy guns, Clint Eastwood cowboy guns, where you have to cock the hammer to set the trigger so you can fire. This gun is empty. We've already checked that earlier. So, and then we'll pull the trigger and then the hammer falls. Now this is also double action, where you can just pull the trigger, it cocks the hammer and fires all in the same motion. So this is what they call double action. Single action is where you have to cock it. If you got a 1911, it's single action because you have to chamber around in it and then pull the hammer back, put the safety on. As this is a revolver, you don't have to carry it with the hammer cocked. You can carry it with it down, and you can carry with all 6 rounds in because it's got the transfer bar, and no matter how far you push on it, it won't come back and hit the primer on the back of the case. Now, if you're wondering what that is, this is a case or a round of ammunition. That's your bullet. This is your case right here. This little round thing right there in the back is your primer. That's what the firing pin hits to shoot. It makes a spark inside the case, sets off the powder, sends your bullet down range. Like I said, this is a basic video for new gun owners, and we want to welcome new gun owners into our shooting communities and gun ownership, because gun ownership is very important, especially at a time when you get the Chinese coronavirus floating around like we do. So this is a revolver. So this is a Taurus Model 65, relatively inexpensive, right around $350 mark, under $400. It's been a very reliable gun. So now we're going to go to a semi-automatic gun, and what I have in this one is a flag chamber. That's why it's right there. And this is a Walther PK380. A lot of ladies like these guns. They're real popular, really ergonomic. And also, you always want to put your finger on the side of the gun. Be quiet, cats. So you want to keep your finger on the side. You don't want to put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot something. So we're going to check and make sure this gun is empty. Of course, it locked back. We'll take the chamber flag out. Some new guns will come with these. Good idea to keep them. Look in there. Okay, we got nothing in the chamber. We got to drop the magazine out. This has a paddle release right here on either side. It doesn't have a button. Some have a button depending on the model. Alright, you push down on it and it slides out. This is an 8-round magazine and it is empty. So now we know the gun is completely empty. This is also a single double action gun. So now this gun is cocked and locked and ready to rock. It has a safety right here on the side. As you can see here, it has a simple hammer block. With that up, or with this down, it's in the safe position. With it up, you see F for fire, and it can fire, and the hammer can go all the way down. So here we go. This is the safe position. You pull the trigger, the hammer comes down. You notice it doesn't go all the way down because it hit the trigger or the hammer block. Okay, so we put that down. We push it back up to the fire position from safe. You notice that the hammer moves up and down. This is a specific gun. That's why reading your owner's manual is very important, because if you have the safety on and you go to fire this gun in double action, nothing will happen. Good example, I took my nephew out and let him shoot this, and he was sitting there, hey, there's something wrong with the gun. So I took it and did the same thing without realizing that the safety was on. Pull the safety up, it's ready to fire. You see it go down. Now watch. From earlier, you see it go down all the way, and it hit. Now, when if it wasn't, it'd go like that. See? And then with the safety off, it goes all the way down. This gun is also single double action. You must load around into the chamber, okay? You can put your safety on and then safely drop with the hammer down and leave your safety on. That's up to you. So when you're ready to fire this gun, you would stick it up like that, and then you can go to the double action. Or if the safety's on and you want to go single action first, you can still cock it just like the revolver. Take your safety off, and it is ready to shoot. Just like that. So that's the difference. This is a single double action revolver. Not revolver. Semi double action pistol. Single and double action pistol. A semi-automatic pistol, what it is. Now you may have a Glock or Smith & Wesson and it doesn't have a hammer on it, and then it's got an internal firing pin, and it's called a striker fire pistol. Again, it'll be double action only, where you can do that because you'll have no hammer to cock. Once you load around in there, it'll be ready to fire, and it may or may not have a safety. Glocks do not have a external safety. So this is a Walther, so this is why we're using this, because this is a popular handgun, and the Walther Creed is pretty economically priced, and these PK380s are under $400 too, and they're really good guns, and they're single stack. That's a single stack mag. Glocks have double stack mags. Again, read your owner's manual. So this is just a quick little tutorial on the difference between semi-automatic and a revolver. The semi-automatic loads from a magazine. The revolver loads from a cylinder, and you would have to unload it like that. You'd actually want to do something here. A little trick is when you're firing your revolver and you're out, you push in on that, take your finger like this, push out like that on the cylinder. Take the revolver, grab it like this, take it up like this, take your hand down, smack your palm of your hand on the ejector rod here. So when you do that, it'll kick all the cases out at once. So to give you an example of that, we're going to load it. So here's what you do when you load it. If you get them all loaded in there, you turn it. Okay. And now it's loaded. Or the cylinder's loaded. Okay. You shot. Now you'll open it up. You'll take it out. Now all of these fell out because they're loaded. If not, then you would take your speed loader, stick it in there, turn it loose, throw that to the side, and go. So now I'm going to show you how to do the speed loader, just in case you don't have a speed loader. See, you turn it right there. You see the little clicks coming in and out, little hooks. So you turn it off. Put all your rounds in. Turn it and it locks it in, and then so it's ready to go again. Now on your pistol, you'll have to load your magazines through this way. Now this right here is a PK380. Its caliber is 380 auto or 380 ACP. It's actually a cartridge that's designed by John Browning and released by Colt. So it's just as automatic Colt pistol is what it is, what ACP means, but 380 ACP. So this gun is chambered in 380. It'll say 380 auto right there. And this was Smith & Wesson. Springfield is the importer. It's not a Smith & Wesson, it's a Walther, but it was imported by Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson owns Walther, if you didn't know that. Or anyway, something that mess like that. They're either joined some way. But anyway, this is a semi-automatic pistol. You have your 3-dot sights right there. They work out pretty well. You may have night sights. There's all kinds of different options out there for your pistols. Now on your revolvers, it's usually sight. You usually got a ramp, and you have a notch right there. And let's see if we can get you a sight picture there. That's what you're looking at for a revolver sight picture. Remember, you want all 3 of them lined up. So this is just real quick intro video about safety, or about your gun. Safety questions. So, like this one right here, we're going to go ahead and put the safety flag back in there. Like slow, we'll drop the magazine, let that come forward, and now we know that gun's safe. And then this gun right here is empty, so we'll end up against the box. So that's what that is. Now we're going to talk about locking them up, and give a minute and we'll get a lock on there. Usually I have them handy, and we'll show you how to lock your gun up properly. If you're a father or a mother, you'll have children in the house, you'll want to lock these up. So most of you will get a lock like this. Very simple. There's two ways you can do this on a revolver. The fast way right here is you can do it like this, and there you go. You can't close it and you can't load it either because they'll fall out, and that'll stop you from doing that. That's one way of doing it. The other way would be, and I don't agree with this, but you could stick it through the barrel and do it like that. That's just stupid. You can even do it this way. Basically, you want to lock and make it safe. A revolver, you got to make it where the cylinder won't close, so it's safe. That way. Now that way your kids don't get a hold of it. I also suggest that if you do have a gun in the house, once you're comfortable with it, go ahead, take it, unload it. Make sure it's always unloaded when you handle your firearm, when you're cleaning it, of course. If you're going to show it to your child, make sure, and then you tell them, keep your finger to the side like this. Always have the gun pointed in a safe direction. Don't play with it. It's not a toy. Take the curiosity out of it with them, and it'll help them not want to mess with it. Every time I clean my firearms with my girls, I always had them around. I even try to get them to help me with it. And once they found out there's some work involved in it, they didn't want to have nothing to do with it until they got older, until they started shooting. And I started both my girls out around age 8 for shooting guns. And I started them out with 22s. So that's how we do the revolver. So here we're going to go back and do the semi-auto pistol. Again, there's two ways to do it, just like the revolver. Drop the mag. You can always keep the mag loaded. Take your gun lock, stick it up that way, and push it in like this. This is probably the best way to do it, because this way you can unload it, or you can unlock it really easy, pull it out, stick your magazine in, do your slide release, and then you're in business to go whatever you need to take care of. Some guns have slide locks and slide releases. This does not. You can always also stick it through it this way and lock it like so. I suggest going down through the magazine, or down through the magazine like that. It's easier to get the gun back in operation when you need it, when you want to secure it. Also, these locks are great. They come with 2 keys. I suggest you keep one on your keychain and then one somewhere where you can get to it. These locks are inexpensive. They come with every firearm. Some of them just have trigger locks. Those things are just terrible. I don't like the trigger lock ones. So this is how we store this. This is actually my youngest daughter's pistol. It's actually mine, but she's claimed it from me. And she likes the 380 really well. And she likes how this gun shoots. And she's 12. And she shoots it quite well. She does not like to shoot 357 Magnum. If it's got 38s in it, she's okay. So that's another thing too with the 380. You can get defensive ammo pretty good, and it still has legitimately good stopping power. It's probably on the small end of today's modern thoughts. Personally, if you got a 25 or a 32, it'll still work. Even a 22 long rifle or a 25 ACP will work. You can shoot the smaller 38 special cartridges in the 357 Magnum only. You can only shoot 380 auto in a 380. The 38 special has less recoil than the 357 Magnum, and this gun's quite heavy, and it helps with that. Makes almost no recoil, even if it's shooting 357 Magnum full powered loads like this one here with a lead tip. It will not have that much recoil because it is in a heavier gun. So the heavier your gun is, the lighter the recoil felt will be. So, this is quite a long video and a lot of information, a lot of questions. Of course, with a auto gun, you'll want to have extra mags, at least. And then, well, how many mags should I have with my semi-automatic pistol? Rule of thumb is most of them will come with 2. The cheaper versions will come with just 1 option. They'll allow them to do that to save money on the price of the gun. My suggestion is that you should have a minimum of 3 magazines for your gun, 1 in it and 2 in reserve. For semi-auto, of course, with a revolver, you just need to have speed loaders. And speed loaders come in this style here, different styles. There's like a strip where all of them line up in there, and then you knock them off one by one inside the cartridge or inside the cylinder. But that's basically what you want to do. Remember, there's 4 laws to gun safety, basically, as I like to call them, is 1, assume every firearm is loaded. You want to treat it as a loaded gun. You want to unload it, make it safe. Always keep the barrel business end of the gun pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger before you're ready to fire your weapon. And always know what's behind your target when you're shooting at something. So those are the big 4 right there. I'm sure I might have missed one part of it. But we're going to lead in with a thumbnail with all 4 of them on there. So that way, if I missed it, I got it covered at the very front of the video. So this is basic handguns operations with a revolver and a semi-automatic pistol, and the different types of ammo that the 357 and 38 can share. Remember, if you have a 357 Magnum, you can shoot 38s in it. If you have a 38 Special, you cannot shoot 30 or 357 in it. Also, there's another 38 Smith & Wesson cartridge. It's called 38 S&W. Some people call it short. It is not the same round as 38 Special. 38 Special is longer, quite a bit longer, almost twice the length, and the bullet is actually quite smaller than the 38 Smith & Wesson. So make sure your gun says 38 Special when you get 38 Special for it. If your gun says 357 Magnum, then you can shoot 38 Special and 357 Magnum. If your gun is a semi-automatic pistol like this, and if it's 380, you can only shoot 380. If it's 9mm, you can only shoot 9mm, so forth and so on in your semi-automatic pistols. They don't have the straight wall design as the 38 and the 357 Magnum does, and they cannot do this on semi-autos all that much. Unless you got some Spanish pistol, Asterisk 400, and that's a whole different story, and you guys don't need to know that about. But anyway, these are some basic guns, and if you have one of them, or if you have questions, feel free to email us at ChevySub1978 at netzero.com. You can reach us through one of our pages, or leave a comment below, and we will try to answer your question with all expedience. And again, welcome new gun owners. Unfortunately, you joined the gun ownership and the Second Amendment rights at a bad time. A lot of people will say, well, we told you so and you should know better, but we're not going to do that. We want you to feel welcome into the Second Amendment community, and we want to keep you in the community and the importance of gun ownership, whether if it's a semi-automatic pistol, a revolver, a rifle, a shotgun, a single shot, no matter what you own. Remember, the Second Amendment guarantees your right to own a firearm and defend yourself and your property. And that's what a lot of people forget about. That's a right that's very important, and you should keep it. Also, you should know that, unfortunately, the Democrats have made this, some Democrats have made this an issue where they want to take away gun rights. And some of you people are finding out for the first time that you can't just go online and buy a gun. That guns are heavily regulated now, which they should not be, to the point that they are regulated. And the Second Amendment doesn't say all that crap. So some of you people that live in Washington State have to, or California, have to wait 10 days, or you get backed up because of you got to wait for the DOJ in California to approve your gun purchases, or any of the eastern states where you have to wait for somebody. That's not the way the law, the Second Amendment was intended for you to have to do that. You go do a background check and get your weapon right then and there and go home. As long as you're not a felon or any prohibited means of owning a firearm, you should be able to take your weapon and go home. And that's what we advocate in the Second Amendment community. Everybody who is not a convicted felon, who is not judgmentally deficient, where you can't own a firearm, to say that you should be able to own a firearm. It is your right, just like your right to have free speech against the government, your right, your Fourth Amendment rights, your Fifth Amendment rights. Everything in the Bill of Rights is there for a reason, is important. And if you are a Democrat, welcome to gun ownership. If you're an older Democrat and own guns, we got to hold people responsible. We don't want nobody taking your revolvers away, or M16 or AR-15s, because we don't have M16s. And we're already regulated to death now. You don't need no more laws or anything like that. And hopefully, this crisis has opened your eyes up to telling you the importance of firearms. And this video will help you with firearm safety. Remember, we're here to help. If you have questions, feel free to answer them. There are no stupid questions. There's only stupid people who don't ask questions. So I prefer for y'all to ask stupid questions and get a good answer for your question, and instead of going into the ignorance and not knowing something. Every state has different laws, of course. Again, some of those are against the Second Amendment, like California, Virginia. God, you people in Virginia, I hope you vote Governor Blackface out. Guys in Kentucky, I know Andy Beshear only won because of Matt Bivens was a knothead and messed with people. I guess now you see that Andy's not the right choice, and hopefully next time around in the governor's race you'll vote him out. I'm here in Tennessee. I'm in a free state, and our governor is he's so-so. He's not too bad on certain things. On other things, it's different. So that's a whole other question. That's another rant. So anyway, if you have questions, ask them. We'll be more than happy to answer them. If you got firearms for the first time in your house and you have young children, my suggestion is definitely use these locks, and or use a lock box and keep the gun loaded and make sure you got the keys where they can't get to it. Also, introduce them to the gun as early as possible. Let them see it. Don't let them play with it. Make sure it's unloaded when you do this, of course, and tell them a little bit about gun safety, which you just learned. And that'll help take the curiosity out. When they're old enough, take them out to the range, shoot the gun in front of them, let them see that it is not a toy and that it is dangerous, and they'll respect it. At least that has been my experience with with my nieces and nephews and my two daughters. So once you take the curiosity out of it, then they'll know what it is, and then they won't want to play with it. Don't let them know where you keep it at, though. Not until they get quite a lot older and you can trust them. And then again, that's something you'll have to judge on your own. I can't tell you when to do that. But let them know that you got them. Let them know that it's not a toy. You can even let them handle it at a younger age, as long as it's unloaded. So they can see. Basically, if you take the curiosity out, then they won't want to mess with them. So, and that's the idea. And then I hate to say this, but the NRA has Eddie the Eagle information for young shooters. It's good information. even though it's coming from the NRA. I'm not a fan of NRA. I'm a fan of the Gun Owners of America and a fan of the Second Amendment Foundation. Those guys do good work on our behalf. We also must hold politicians responsible and accountable for gun laws and gun laws that we don't like, to get rid of them, and to let them know that we're willing to vote them out, because we shouldn't have to wait till a crisis to say, oh, I need a gun, or oh, I need, you should have one anyway for your own self-protection. So again, welcome, and I've ran on a little bit longer, and appreciate you guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the videos, and that helps us if you subscribe to the channel and like the videos, and we'll catch you guys next time.